What's up in War Eagle War Report family? You got Ike Jones. We are here live. The final from Neville Arena. Auburn wins 92-78, completing the season sweep over Georgia. Go ahead and do me a favor and share the video. Get some more people involved in here. Let's talk about this win. We are live inside of LAUB Town. Hopefully everybody is having a good Saturday night. And SEC tournament time. Auburn can officially turn their attention to the SEC tournament. Likely going to be a 4 seed now with all of the things transpiring today. So looking forward to seeing what happens as far as the seeding is around the rest of the conference. But hopefully everybody is enjoying the game. Well, did enjoy the game. Again, share the video, man, and get some more people in here. Before I get into some of my analysis, I'll just jump straight into the comments and let you guys start the conversation off. Tim says, Kentucky taking care of business. This is all very interesting. Let's see. Tatiana says, great win for our boys, but since YN lost, does that mean we are a 5 seed? Oh, wait a minute, YN? What is YN? I don't know what you meant there. Tennessee, you said since Tennessee lost, does that make us a 5 seed? I think we still might have a chance at the 4 seed. After this game, have an opportunity for it at least. So we'll see. Asking why Bama has the tiebreaker against Auburn. I mean, we split the season series, so I'm actually not sure why Bama would have the tiebreaker there. Don't know. We should be the 4 seed, though. I don't know why. I think once the night is over with, we will end up being a 4 seed. So, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about this game. Auburn wins 92-78. We can hash out where we are seeding-wise tomorrow on the show once the night is completely done. But 92-78, I don't even know how you start this conversation without talking about Denver Jones. 7 of 10 from 3 tonight for Denver. 7 of 9 from 3, 7 of 10 overall from the field. But 7 3-pointers tonight, all of his points coming from the 3-point line. Crazy night for him. That's not good math, though. It says he has... Oh, okay, 21 points. All right, yeah, so 21 points, all coming from 3 tonight for Denver. He was the high scorer. Behind him, Janai Broome, 4 of 10 shooting, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. And then Jalen Williams with 13, 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. Chad Baker-Mazara led the team with 7 rebounds in this game. Just an amazing night overall. About 10 minutes left in the game, we were at 60. And we ended this game at 92, if I recall correctly. And I was like, man, there's no way we're going to get close to 100 tonight, just the way that the game was going. And had it not turned into a free throw contest down the stretch, we might have actually gotten to 100 with the way that the team picked up pace kind of a little bit later in the game. But definitely a good game overall. I can't really think of anyone who I thought had a bad game that got significant minutes. Chaney Johnson was ferocious out there on the boards. Only had 4 rebounds, but he just had some very timely ones. 5 assists in the game for Chaney. He and Janai actually tied for the most assists in the game. Dylan Cardwell had 4 assists. Big man assists tonight. 14 assists coming from Janai Broome, Jay Will. 19. Let's go. 18 assists, coming from the front court. Jay Will, Janai Broome, Dylan Cardwell, and Chaney Johnson combined for 18 assists tonight. That's crazy. A lot of big man assists going on tonight. Definitely liked what I saw from that standpoint from the team. Trey Donaldson, a pretty efficient night, 3 of 7 shooting. I think the only person who had, we had 3 guys with multiple turnovers. Aiden Holloway had 2. I remember one of them kind of like on an advanced pass. I can't remember what the other one was. Janai Broome had 2. Chad Baker-Mazara had 2. Again, I remember one of his was on an advanced pass he tried to attempt. Just a couple of other. So 11 total turnovers for the team tonight. Only forced 11 turnovers. Georgia's done a good job in both of the games not turning the ball over a lot. Georgia's a dribble drive defense, and Auburn really gets their turnovers in passing lanes typically. So it is going to be a little bit more difficult to go and try to get steals as they're dribbling, as opposed to trying to anticipate and get into the passing lanes or off of some sort of crazy double team. So it kind of makes sense that it's like that. But points off turnovers, Auburn was able to get 19. Georgia 17 points off a turnover. So probably gave up a little bit too much on points off of turnovers. Georgia did win the rebounding battle 38-36. 14 offensive rebounds for Georgia. So, I mean, Georgia is a decent team when it comes to being able to just kind of grind games to a halt. You saw there Mike White at the end was just kind of going for we're just going to foul the big man and put him on the line to try to give us more possessions here towards the end. Dylan Cardwell and Janai Broome did a good job of making free throws towards the end of the game. Chad Baker-Mazara got a couple of them there. So definitely a good job of Auburn late in the game of shooting free throws, because early it wasn't looking too good. Free throw shooting for Auburn on a percentage-wise for the game was only 60%. Georgia was only 57%. It was a very ugly free throw shooting contest out there in this game. Anyway, continue to share the live. Get some more people involved in here. I appreciate you guys jumping in here. We'll get into breaking down a little bit more half-by-half stuff here in just a minute. I'll go back to the comment section and see what you guys are talking about over here. Again, appreciate you all jumping in. Valencia is saying the ref did not call those holds on Chad Baker-Mazara, but will call everything on our guys. I think the one that was the most ridiculous is, I can't remember, I think it was DeLoach that basically just grabbed Chad's jersey and pulled him before an inbounds play. I was like, what the heck is, like, I didn't, DeLoach was doing too much in this game, man. Like, he was just doing way too much. And it's like his entire purpose in the game was to try to get under somebody's skin and hopefully get them to get a tech. And then KD got the weakest tech. Like, he was definitely chirping at the dude, but that's more of a warning than a tech. I could understand if you had warned him, hey, let's chill out on that, and then he did it again. But I don't know, man. I didn't think it was a poorly officiated game as much as I thought that the refs were. Well, no, it was inconsistent again. And this happened actually in the first Georgia game, where it was like little touch fouls, they're calling that, but then big collisions they're not doing anything about. And then some of the more obvious things that happened, they didn't call anything. The one situation where Russell Chiwa runs over to our bench and pushes a guy because, his guy got knocked down. It's like, man, come on, bro. Like, let's not do the extra stuff is unnecessary. So, yeah, I don't know what happened with that. So, Nina, get shout out to Denver Jones. He was on fire tonight. Yeah, the 7 threes from Denver was a good. That was the Denver Jones I had been waiting to see, where he's just like, listen, man, if y'all going to leave me open, that's just not a good night for y'all. I love the sets that Coach Pearl ran to get him open for some of the threes, and Denver taking advantage of his opportunities. Good to see him out there shooting well. And we'll get into a little bit more. Valencia back in here, they're saying Auburn clinched the 4 seed. I agree. I mean, again, right now in the standings that it shows on ESPN, it shows us at the 5 seed, but I think Auburn should be the 4 seed after tonight because of all of the activity. But again, we'll get into seeding and all of that tomorrow a little bit more. But I agree, 4 seed is what Auburn should be at this point in time. Steve Bradley says, I was so wanting the shot by Jay Will at the rim on our last shot to follow up from Broome. Yeah, Jay Will. Oh man, let's talk about this. Jay Will, multiple highlight dunks tonight. Multiple. He's been trying to put somebody in a body bag for a minute, and he finally zipped somebody up there in the first half of this game. But he had a few of them where he was absolutely punishing the rim. His hand is going to be sore tonight. Like, he gonna need to ice that boy, because he was he was handling business, man. Like, bro, Jay Will was like, hey, man, this is my last game. I'm going out with a bang in Neville, bro. He definitely did some amazing things when it came to cutting to the basket and putting some people in body bags. Loved it from Jalen Williams tonight. Jay Will overall tonight, 6 of 10 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. Missed both of his free throws. That was right after he missed one of them. Right after the and one on thing, his hand was hurt, and then he had I think he missed the front end of a 1-and-1 on another one. So yeah, Jay Will, 23 minutes tonight. Chad Baker-Mazar played 31 minutes tonight. He played a lot of minutes, partially because Chaney Johnson was in a little foul trouble. He had 4 fouls, which Chad ended up with 4 himself. So, but yeah, man, Jay Will. Listen, man, just take a minute. I will probably talk about a little bit more about just kind of Jalen Williams and what he has meant to this Auburn program over the last 5 seasons. But just an amazing legacy that he's going to leave behind. If this team, I asked this question earlier in the season, I'll ask it of you all tonight. If this team wins any ring, any title, any banner that they can put up, whether that is coming here to the SEC tournament, winning the SEC championship in the tournament, or they make it to the Final Four and or win a championship, do you hang Jalen Williams' jersey up in the rafters? Does Jalen Williams get his jersey retired as one of the greatest Auburn Tigers ever to wear that basketball uniform? Already the winningest player, or has he just not done enough in his career? What do you guys think about Jalen Williams? Does he get the opportunity to have his jersey retired if this team wins some sort of title, or does he even need that? Like, has he already cemented himself as one of those, or does he need that ring, that banner to be able to do it? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. AU alum says, my eldest just got admitted to Auburn yesterday on Cloud 9. Congratulations to your eldest for being admitted into the most prestigious university in the state of Alabama, probably in the Southeastern Conference. It's just better. So yeah, congratulations. Hopefully has a great time down on the plains. Let's see. All right, so I got some of you guys answering my question. Well, first of all, AU alum says Jay Will be an ESPN highlight, just all by himself. Just put all of his dunks on ESPN as a highlight reel by itself for sure. Let's see. Valencia says, yes, retire it. He's done enough. So Nina says, yes, without a doubt. AU alum says, have to retire the jersey, most wins ever. It would be interesting, though, right? Because if Allen Flanagan had stayed, Allen would have been tied because they would have been there for the same amount of time. Allen Flanagan would have been tied. So here's the other question, right? So if you feel like Jay Will, and this is off into some huge like what if land, if Flanagan had come back as well, right, and they end up leaving tied, would Flanagan have done enough in his Auburn career to get his jersey retired? Or are you rewarding Jay Will for his loyalty and not hitting the portal and coming back year after year with this team? And that's the reason why you say him and Flanagan, we don't even need to entertain that conversation. Love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Kenny P says, yes, retire it. Susan Scale says, yes, retire it. Hell agrees. Hey, let's retire the jersey of Jalen Williams. Put him in the rafters. Jim Habersham Jim says, retire the jersey or with or without the hardware. James Buckley, yes, 100%. Valencia was like, nah, Flanagan didn't deserve nothing. It's a reward for loyalty. I'm not mad at that. Listen, he's the one who stuck it out, and that's why he is the career leader in wins for the team, because he made it through that final year. So yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that. Pocket Watch says hard no for Flan. So again, I'm not saying he needs to have it retired now, because I agree 100%. Flanagan leaving, you don't get your jersey retired. I'm saying if he had come back, would they have been in this conversation, both of them, for this? But yeah, Jay Will, again, he stands alone because he came back for his 5th year at Auburn as opposed to transferring somewhere else. So I'm with you. All right, Stephen Bradley says, Ike, can you come up with the statistics that our transfers have meant to the team this year compared to our past, besides depth, maybe on tomorrow's show. So you're talking about taking a look at statistics on Chad Baker-Mazar, Chaney Johnson, Denver Jones, and what they've meant to the team this season. I absolutely could do that for you. We'll get into that for sure. I'll see if I can get it ready for tomorrow. So that's a good request. I'll see if I can get that for you. Susan Scales said, Flan left, reward Jay Will. Not mad about it. Not mad about it. All right. So, yeah. So most of you all agree. I haven't seen anybody say they don't think that Jay Will deserves to have the jersey retired. He has been amazing as an Auburn Tiger. Hopefully he gets an opportunity to get some hardware before he gets up out of here, man. They need to go handle business in this SEC tournament. They've got a chance to win it. Got a chance to get to the Final Four. It's time to do it. Now's the time, man. You listen, all this other stuff, we passed all that. Let's get into the real deal here. Let's get back in and talk about some of the other performances tonight. I want to talk about unlikely folks that in this game, a little up and down for me, but liked moments from. The guy I want to talk about is Chris Moore. I like Chris Moore stepping up and taking the three. He took and made a 3-pointer tonight. The only shot that he took tonight was that. But then at other points, he looks completely tentative. Like Georgia was just backing off of him. He had a medium range shot he could have taken, and he's turning around looking for someone else. And there was another play later on where he kind of made an ill-advised entry pass to Janai. And so it's back and forth with me about whether SEMO has kind of come out of the reluctancy place that he was in. And so I want Chris to find again the confidence of a Division I hooper. Like, you're good enough to go and get buckets, man. And in this league, you've done it before. Remember who you are. If they're going to leave you open from the elbow, my guy, turn face up, knock it down. Don't look for somebody else to get the ball to. That's a shot you can make, SEMO. And if you don't feel confident enough making that shot, then go get in the gym and practice it and see where they're giving you the openings. So I really want Chris Moore to recapture his offensive identity and figuring out what kind of player is Chris Moore as a scorer, not as a primary threat or anything like that. But hey, man, if y'all gonna leave me open, don't disrespect me like this. I'm going to knock down buckets if you give me this opportunity. Whether that is I'm going to be a catch and drive guy, I'm going to be a face up, dribble up two times into the mid range, whatever that is, right? Find that. If it's attacking the rim, if it's mid-range, if it's stepping out and shooting, deciding what kind of bag you want to be able to get into, and then when they give you the opportunity, go to that bag and do it. So I just want SEMO to find that again. Again, I'm happy that he was able to knock the three down tonight. I want him to get his confidence in other areas of his game. Aiden Holloway tonight, only 4 points, 2 of 5 shooting. I didn't dislike any. What I loved from Aiden tonight is, you guys know I've been talking about, I think Aiden needs to get to that mid-range a little bit more. That's where he got his shots, was in the medium range stuff, right? Like, I love the about 10-foot floater that he dropped. I'm like, yeah, man, you can do that when you want to, bro, because they're going to run you off the 3-point line. Let's get downhill and make them pay. The bigs are down there. They're sinking because they're expecting you to either bring it all the way to the rim or try to throw a lob over the top. That's fine. We'll just get about 10 to 8 feet and float it over the top while they're trying to close out late. I love that from him tonight. So definitely like the fact that he's become more comfortable in doing those sorts of things when he gets in there. Let's see. Again, I'm trying to kind of go from least points to most points here. Chad only had 6 points tonight. 2 of 2 from the free throw line. I think he had an okay game. Most of the shots that Chad took tonight and that he made were tough ones. He missed the easier ones, or the ones that were more open. I won't say easier. And so hopefully, Chad can find that ignition switch a little bit more, like he was the first time versus Georgia for a couple of games during the tournament, and really just kind of turn into a difference maker in that way for the team. Next up, KD. I think KD had a good game tonight. 2 of 6 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3. Missed 1 free throw. Had 3 rebounds. The tech call, again, that was a weak call. Officials, I don't know what they were doing there. 2 assists for him tonight in 14 minutes. going out against Georgia. Like that was fitting. The number of guys from the state of Georgia that got to play their senior night against Georgia, Dylan Cardwell. Jalen has already had a senior night, but this is his last game in Neville Arena against Georgia. And then KD Johnson, also a senior, getting senior night against Georgia. Now, because of COVID, both Dylan Cardwell and KD Johnson could come back for an additional season if they want to. But it is completely up to them at this point in time. And I do wonder kind of what the situation, particularly with KD, would be around. Like, there's no guards that are going to be leaving this team. Denver Jones can come back next year. Aiden Holloway can come back next year. Trey Donaldson can come back next year. And then you're going to have the true freshman coming in next year. And I don't know why names just don't evade me like that. But I do wonder what's going to happen with KD, and then how the minutes are going to get distributed if he decides to come back. So that's going to be an interesting decision for KD Johnson. Now, Dylan Cardwell, I think, makes a lot of sense for him to come back. I don't know if he's, he had flirted with the NBA a couple of times before going to like some of the camps and all that sort of thing during the off season. So I don't know that he has shown much to be an NBA prospect right now. I think he's a good, solid NBA like bench contributor. If somebody wanted to come and make him like a second or third big man off the bench, he could probably get into that kind of role and be a journeyman type of guy. But he definitely brings you energy, brings you rim protection, all of those things that are definitely useful. Tahad Pettifer, I don't know why the name I couldn't think of it a second ago. But anyway, with him coming in. But anyway, so he could come back for another year of college and really just maximize the collegiate experience and continue to grow his brand. But I would like to see Dylan come back because I think it gives you some more. That front court is going to suffer if Janai Broome and Dylan both leave. Janai Broome, Jay Will, and Dylan all leave, then that front court is suffering, right? You have Chaney Johnson, who's a solid 3-4 guy for you. You'll have Chad Baker-Mazara, who could come back for another year, who's a solid 2-3 guy for you. But then, like, where do you go, right? Like, AD's been sitting on the end of the bench. He'll come in and he'll probably be ready to give you some rotational minutes next season. But you need some big men on this team. So they're going to have to do some work either in the transfer portal, because the class is done and they don't have any bigs in that class. They only have, a guard and a forward in that class. So your 2 to 4 space, right? I don't know what SEMO is going to do. Your 2 to 4 space is, because Berman's done, right? Like, so you don't have him coming back. Your 2 to 4 spots, though, they're okay, right? Between Denver Jones, Chad Baker-Mazara, Chaney Johnson, and however they work it out with those guards. Like, I think you're good at your 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 when you get AD, Chaney in that mix right there, right? But at your 5, really at your 4 and your 5, you've got some work that you need to do to fill this roster out a little bit. So we will see what happens with, Broome could come back for another season. Cardwell could come back for another season, and you'd be fine, and you'd be ready to run it back for whatever you have. Like, if you get somehow convinced Broome and Cardwell to return, then you've got a Darren Scott that's going to step up and give you some minutes there as another big man on the inside that can rotate in at your 4 and 5. You've got another year of polished Chaney Johnson in there, and then you potentially go to the portal and get yourself I don't really know. I need to look at how that roster is comprised and really what the rotations would be. But you could be able to be really solid if you go to the portal. When I say go to the portal, I mean probably go get another mid-major person that wants to make the jump up, but is going to be more of a rotational person at the 3, 4, 5 spot. Somebody who has a J. Will kind of profile that's big but can step out and shoot and bang on the inside for you. Because, again, if you get both of those bigs to come back, then you're fine at your 5. Then you just need like another 4 to be able to rotate in with Chaney. And then you could have a 3-person rotation at the 4 with a Darren Scott, whoever that transfer is, and Chaney Johnson. You'd be good. But We'll see. A lot of things up in the air. But for right now, we don't have to worry about all of that stuff. What we need to focus on is Auburn won this game tonight. Auburn moves into SEC tournament mode next week. Looking forward to seeing what those young men do in the tournament and kind of where the seeding is and who the draw is going to be for them at that 4 seed. But Auburn is headed in with good momentum offensively. Another night where you shoot over 40% from three. Again, most of that of the 11 threes you had, 7 of them came from one dude. But really a good, efficient, and I've said this before, 20, 25 threes is about what you want to take if you're Auburn, and you want to make 35% of those. It took 23 tonight. You made 48%. That's a good percentage for, I mean, 48% is good for anybody, but that's a good percentage for the number of threes that you're taking. So 11 threes out of the 23, a wonderful percentage. You're doing what you need to do there. First and second half, Auburn scored 45 in the first half, 47 in the second half. A little lax defensively in the second half on a couple of those closeouts on threes and allowing some second chance points there. But overall, a good defensive effort from top to bottom from the team, only allowing 78 points. So like what I'm seeing there, but the offense being as like they just kind of turn it on in waves against you offensively. They had some dry spots out there, but this offense can just get going and really make it difficult for teams to not feel the pressure of having to go score buckets. That hasn't been the case for Auburn the last couple of years. The offense has been very stagnant where you would be lucky to get into the 60s. This team is consistently scoring 70 to 80 points, right? And against some of the best defenses and competitions that are out there, they are putting numbers up. So this is a different kind of basketball team than it was last year and the year before when they came in and they were, on the 1 seed line, right? Like, and everybody's thinking, oh, this is a championship team because of, how hot but this is a different beast, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do during tournament time because I've said before, a team with depth does well in tournaments because you don't have to rely on the same few guys to produce night in and night out. And because you get the double bye as Auburn, you get 3 games. So you got to go on a 3-game win streak to go win the SEC tournament. We'll see what the draw is and who they have there, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. But that's it. That's enough of me talking, man. I appreciate you guys jumping in here with me. Another LAUB Town. Again, Auburn wins 92-78 versus Georgia, completing the season sweep. We'll be back at you all tomorrow with the weekend tailgate. Before you get out of here, please hit that thumbs up button to like the video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and share that video with somebody else. I definitely want to hear more comments once this video is done about Jalen Williams and the legacy that he has. Is he already a Rafters jersey guy, or does he need to do more? I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Till the next time, and as always, War Eagle.